Welcome to another episode of Abby's Power Lunch. We are here today with Natasha Martindale. Natasha, thank you so much for being on the show. I think when we first met, it was through the Miss World pageant. I was a judge on the show, and over the years, I've seen how you've managed to not just motivate but empower so many young women here in Guyana through the pageant and all that else that you've been doing, supporting behind the scenes. I want to thank you for that first and foremost, but I also want to say that it's an honor for me to sit here today and to really get to know you, really get to know the woman behind what we see. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me, and it is great to be here in Guyana, and I am looking forward to sharing a lot of me with you.
You're a Guyanese.
Very much so.
Here in Guyana, tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Where were you born?
I was born in Georgetown, Guyana, and from very humble beginnings, single parent environment with siblings that I look up to even to today, and I've been fortunate to be able to become the person that I am today due to some amazing opportunities that I've had from a young girl. Not only that, being a very young mother and having role models in Guyana that I believe is missing today to help to guide my journey, and I believe it is what has really brought me here at this point in time to become Guyana's national director and license holder for the Miss World.
Awesome. So what are some of your fondest memories growing up in Guyana?
My fondest memories would be, I was just like the next girl next door, riding bicycles and climbing trees and being very outdoor, because at that time everything that we do in Guyana was really connecting with people, connecting with other young creative minds and sharing our experiences. And I believe that is so lost today, because a lot of our young people are really into themselves. They don't have that touch kind of thing anymore, and it is a tragedy.
It's sad.
It is a tragedy. But even though I grew up with those kinds of opportunities, I've always been somewhat introverted, and trust me, I still am. But my environment here in Guyana has given me so much, and so much that I really want to be able to always give back to that humble beginning.
Okay, awesome. No, like you, I grew up very in touch with, being outdoors and, being among people. So that possibly has been the reason why I'm such a people's person, and I love to talk. I love to talk. So going back to, growing up in Georgetown, when did the opportunity present itself for you to leave Guyana, and how did that really impact you?
I got married. Yes. Fell in love and got married, and flew up to the States, where I've been for over 20 years, and that has really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I would have never even thought possible, especially when it comes to opportunities for young people. It is that landscape over there is so ripe and fresh for that, and that was missing in my country. The young people as well, the way that they approach interviews and communication, it was something that I've always struggled with, and looking at the way that they converse with each other has really given me the confidence that I myself needed to speak to small groups or large crowds, which I'm still terrified of, but I'm very much more capable of handling small crowds. I have been exposed to lots of things since leaving Guyana, and even to the fact that I think it was in the early 20s, I decided to create sort of like an environment for creative artists and creative thinkers. We call it Guyana, which catered to young people who wanted to find themselves through creativity. And so I worked a lot with poets and young writers and helped to shape somewhat their thinking, and it was very successful. Obviously the entire Guyana was not yet into the whole online kind of thing, so that was the little drawback. But those who had access to technology at that time found it very motivating, and some of the people that I've actually was fortunate to work with were people like Koja McPherson and Trevor Smith, and those really great young people. Moving on, I've worked with I co-founded FACS, Fashion, Arts and Creativity, by young talented students, where we went to schools and we had competitions that worked with designers. And Randy Madrid came out of that group. Mawanza Glenn, Clinton Duncan came from that. Those are humble beginnings that will always be extremely precious to my heart. It was really inspirational. I've also had poetry slams in school, and which was a new thing for Guyana. Getting the kids to be very vocal and expressing themselves in a poetic form, which led me to being Miss World Guyana National Director. When that opportunity came up, I was like, this is going to be a piece of cake, because I was so like, it was so easy to work with groups of young people at that time. I'm like, this can be difficult. Said to Miss World, I got this, you know, the kind of thing. And it has been a challenge. It has been a challenge. It has been a whirlwind of key learnings that has even developed me as a person further. It's like opened my eyes to a lot of things that is wrong in our environment, and the things that I can fix, and the things that really help to ensure that the young women that's coming through, that's using the Miss World platform as a form of a journey to have a more wholesome experience, which brings me to, I think I'm actually taking over.
That's
just
right.
talking and talking.
See, the thing is that it's about us getting to know you. So I am actually enjoying this conversation. What I like your demeanor. I always say that I hopefully someday I can master the demeanor of being so well spoken and so calm and so collective. How do you do that? And then you have your son. Is it your son? The balance of it all.
You've got to be a superwoman. That's it. If you want to know the secret, it's out there. Be the superwoman. Oftentimes I find that us women tend to hold ourselves back and think that we are not capable of the impossible. And we always second guess ourselves, and that leads to procrastination. And so for me, I think of myself as fearless, where if there is a problem that comes to me, I want to be able to identify the problem and come up with a solution, not be the bystander and point the problem out, but understanding that in order to make our world the best it could be, we are capable of finding problems that we can solve. And so it having to balance all of this, work and being a mother, being a wife, having a second husband, Miss World Guyana. My husband feels it's a second marriage, so I must give that some precedence. And being able to be the influencer and a role model to so many young people comes with its own sort of motivation, because now I can't fail, because I've got to eat the dog food, right? I've got to eat what I'm selling, and so it is important for me to also be as the best version that I can be, so that young women can see that and be their best versions.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm on this. I'm gonna be positive, no matter what the situation is kind of season right now. So I am only looking at the positives in everything, and second husband as well. The women that have come out from it, I think they're strong. They're beautiful inside and out. What are some of your greatest takeaways from all of the every year? Look at that.
Having that, ensuring that the fabric that is created for such a platform is not pierced, and that being strong enough to ensure that regardless of what we're facing, we must continue to exhibit qualities of the woman that other people can emulate. And the young people that I've been fortunate to work with all of them are very unique in their own sense. They have unique qualities. They have gone through a lot, and being becoming the face of Guyana and wanting to be that perfect role model is something that comes with a lot of challenges. Huge responsibilities involved, and sometimes it's really hard to connect with people and struggle to ensure that this is my place, sort of thing. And every year I get an opportunity to work with these amazing young women who started off the journey very unsure, and by the end of it they are like super women, and sometimes the struggle is real, because when you have to go through a lot of disappointments and a lot of real struggles, it really builds your resolve. And one of the other things, like, our country is so much focused on theory. A lot of our young people have kind of like the theory kind of exposure. What the Miss World does is Miss World is more practical. So you get the practical experience of what life and reality is, and sometimes it can be a rude awakening, but it also gives the young woman an opportunity to meet so many people, build her network, build her clientele, build her confidence, raise up above the fray, and all of that.
So what would make a perfect candidate for your Miss World path?
The perfect candidate must be someone who is extremely gracious, humble, and very, very determined. And they must have qualities that they exhibit that is really true Miss World type qualities, and that is ensuring that they give back to their country, and that they put purpose before gains. That is the Miss World way.
Awesome. I've never, pageantry has never been something that I think I could do. I'm very clumsy.
I don't, and that's the thing, right? We want to get away from the traditional concept of what pageantry is and what it is not, and really step back and look at it for what it is. Miss World is a movement. Miss World is a movement that builds strong women, give them the opportunity to become their best versions. And believe it or not, this year especially, what we have done is, I've been a national director now for 5 years, and and I look and really get a sense of where do I want my next 5 years to be? What do I want my next 5 years to look like? And one of the things that we did this year, and we're doing this year, is we have postponed, I'm going to say it officially, we have postponed the national competition for 2019. Yes, and one of the reasons, and I'll go into it, for March to May is a very, like, it's a blink of an eye.
Yeah, it goes really fast. Yeah.
Blink of an eye. And we put a lot of pressure on these young women. And yes, it is a real dose of reality based on all of the things that you would do and the things that you have to accomplish, and you want sponsorship, and you have to look at your talent, and you got to look at your beauty with a purpose, and it becomes sort of like an overwhelming journey. We want the young woman to enjoy her journey. We want her, when she steps back away from this, to feel as though being a part of the Miss World is a badge of honor. And not only that, when we crown a Miss Guyana in May, we trust her into Guyanese and say, hey, love her, support her. I'm sorry if I block you.
That's right.
Support this young, and then we expect Guyana to get to know her instantly, get to love her instantly, and get to support her. And it is something that I've always struggled with. And the reality is that most of our young women in Guyana have possibly an issue with lack of confidence. And ever so often during our recruitment process, we've been in positions where we've had to massage the confidence of our young women, tell them that they are capable and they're worthy. And that to me was not helping our situation. In reality, it was still a very short space of time. Being mentally prepared and having to be physically prepared is two completely different things. What we're doing this year is we have created a quarterfinalist segment, and we're calling it the preparation period. And between June to November, we will have those young women who qualify based on the application process to get that time to launch their Beauty with a Purpose project, to launch to work on their talent, their public speaking skills, their poise and their elegance, and their confidence and proactive building. And so what we will be doing is we will ensure that we have workshops that they can be a part of to build up that type of exposure that they need. Most importantly, we want them to be visible. It is important that our young people in Guyana are visible. I believe that they are not visible enough. And so in creating role models, we want to ensure that we have role models that are seen. You can touch them. They're like people. They're not. We want when a young person walks down the road and they look up and they see a beautiful woman on a billboard, they must know who she is and feel a sense that that could be me. And I believe that that is missing. And so with this new platform that we're doing is Guyana will be able to follow these girls in their journey because they're going to be visible. And so by the time we're ready to do tryouts, instead of the girls going up and say, I would like to do this as my beauty with a purpose, they will be saying, this is what I've done. This is my talent. I am ready for this. This is my presentation. I am very persuasive in my approach. And I've been visible. Here is where I have been visible. Here is the impact I'm having on my community. Being that kind of having that kind of proactive experience changed a lot of dynamics, because in that process they're working with time management, they're getting a feel of who they really are in order to become who they can become. And going through our semi-finalist segment, which is going to be mostly social media run, is we will introduce them to classical music and philosophy, and they will be expected to do a 5-year plan, and we will have an online presidential debate on Facebook, and that will be just semi-finalist aspect. Not only that, we will be working with some of our biggest partners who we will definitely announce later, but Ministry of Tourism is going to also have a voice in helping these our young women to understand the country more. You know, you are going to be the face of a region, you must know about that region. And so ensuring that during that process they are exposed to a lot of knowledge regionally will also help them. So when it's time to come around to select the person to become the face of a region and work within that region, we're hoping to create opportunities for them there. It will be a great experience being selected as the face of a region, and then we take all of that and culminate it into the finalists. And their journey, it should be like the most enjoyable one. They should be like out there shaking hands with their regional sashes and getting to know the players in our community, in our corporate world, instead of trying to run around and finish off the beauty of the purpose and thing. I mean, they will be doing that, but it's going to be in a very topical, refresher kind of thing. But they will be extremely strong in their presentation and their poise, and I can't wait for next year.
I can't wait. What we're going to do though is going to take a break, and then when we get back, I really want to know the behind the scenes, because we see the night of the pageant, but we don't know that all that's going on behind the scenes.
Oh my God!
I get to know.
I've got a lot. I'm gonna just be shooting you with all these awesome things.
Awesome. So we take a break and we'll be right back. Hi and welcome back to the show. We're here with Natasha Martindale. She's the country coordinator of Miss World Guyana. We've been talking a lot about the pageant, and there's no pageant this year, the same, but it's a preparation season. I love that. I love that the ladies who are going to be in the pageant this year get that opportunity to really prepare themselves both mentally and physically for the pageant. And you know, we see a lot of what's happening on the night of the pageant. There's cameras, everybody's there excited, the ladies look beautiful in their gown, but we don't necessarily know what happens behind the scenes. Now give us a little snippet of all that you have to do behind the scenes to get everybody prepared for that night.
Yeah, that is probably going to take longer than we envisioned, but I'm going to try to put it all in a nutshell. We've got a lot of administrative things that must be followed. And most importantly, we have judges who are qualified in each segment. Really and truly, our pageant or competition starts with the final segments, finals in sports, finals in beauty with a purpose, final in talent. All of that happens. So by the time coronation comes, we have a very clear understanding of the front runners, the girls who are the top 3, the top 10, the top 5 girls already. And what happens behind the scenes is we use this sort of like auditing program that's international standards called TAG, that rolls off all of their scores from those finals and give us a clear picture of the front runners. We have people that are working behind the scenes to ensure that the girls are well groomed and well prepared. And next year especially, we are going to create somewhat of a video for them to do their walk. So all of that they're learning way beforehand, so that come the night of coronation, everything is ready. They understand the dynamics on the stage. They know they're each going to be given a script of the actual competition, so they know their places and all of that. And most importantly, selecting the judges for the night. What the girls will be tasked with behind the scene is coming up with their presentation, because they're going to be asked, what qualities and attributes do you have to become the next Miss World? And what we want them to do is to do a pitch. So they've got to now make a pitch to Guyana to say, well, this journey has been so and so, and I believe I have the qualities and attributes of the next Miss World, and here's why. And that is the presentation that they will do for the judges, because Miss World is all about public speaking, and you've got to be able to manage all of that. There's a head-to-head challenge that you've got to be prepared for. So speaking in front of a large crowd is extremely important. So making that presentation, and that's what the girls are doing repeatedly behind the scenes, ensuring that they are mentally prepared for this journey. And they have all that is required. Come coronation night, when the judges select the next Miss World Guyana, they will be selecting based on all that person or that those 3 people would have done to get them up to coronation night, and then the person who made the best presentation will have the final say of the judges.
You know, I wish I was 10 years younger so that
you would have made an awesome Miss World, because like so many of our young Guyanese people, there must be some kind of experience that I don't want to say trauma, but there must be something, like, I don't know, I am in love with the hero's journey. You guys should, I always tell people to look it up, in that, you know, there's a calling that you have. You want to do this thing, you look for mentors to guide you in your process, and then you come back with the prize. It is an amazing thing to be honored, especially and supported by your country.
Yeah, definitely. You spoke a little earlier about confidence, and it's something that I grew up in Essequibo, and as a young girl, I struggled with being confident and being bold and open. What would be your advice to women, young girls who are out there who are struggling to find their place right now?
Focus on one thing that you really love, and anytime you are in a position to doubt yourself, you must have had one accomplishment in your life that you are extremely proud of. So when the hard times hit, always fall back on that feeling, that experience that you've had with that accomplishment. And it could even be something as simple as you're sexy, or you know, or maybe you've won a dance competition, but make that memory extremely personal and close to your heart. So when time comes and you've got to really face challenges and feeling incapable, there would have been one thing that you would have mastered or you would have accomplished that is a feel-good thing for you. And that's what takes you throughout your journey. And as you keep getting and adding a lot of accolades to it, you become the expert. And everything else just falls into place and becomes so easy, because you will have started on a very humble journey by that very one accomplishment and turn it into many.
Awesome. Natasha, you know, I just want to say thank you for being on the show. I've met you before, like I said, and I've seen you, but what I'm even more blown away by right now is your heart for the Miss World pageant and for the ladies who are going to be involved in the pageant, especially knowing the effort and knowing that you're going to be putting into this year. I just want to thank you for that. And I want to say keep going, because there are people out there who are looking at me, who are looking at you, and they draw strength from that. You never know who's looking around, and you know that I'm looking around, and I draw strength from that. So thank you so much. Before we wrap up, I just like to know, what is the real life mantra? What's the quote that you live by every day?
Balance. When you find balance, you can rule the environment around you. The minute you are unbalanced, there's a lot of doubt that comes in and sets you apart, tears you apart. Stay away from drama and embrace balance. Know that your failures and your successes are supposed to be embraced, so embrace all of it. That's what keeps me very grounded. I know that I will fail more than I will win. That is just the way I live. Thank you for having me. Thank you for always being someone who I admire as a young woman, and I did consider sending you an application.
I'm too old. I wish I was 10 years younger.
I did consider sending you an application because, when I reached out to her to judge, I saw this beautiful inside. I feed off of people's energy, and I absolutely love yours, and I know that you will go extremely far, and I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to Miss World 2020.
2020.
I look forward to it. I can't wait.
Yes. So every year we will be working a year ahead.
Alright. And I think they'll be more prepared
Yes,
to win and
yes.
bring the crown home to Guyana.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are working on values. So we want you to be visible, and you will have. We're working on a great price list as well. So follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website for any updates that you need.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you were inspired, and for the ladies out there who are considering Miss World, I think now is a good time for you to step
Yes,
forward.
come join us. Your journey will be amazing.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We hope that you've been inspired by the many stories told here this past half an hour. Abby's Power Lunch tells the story of women in business in their own voice. We view this not just as another television show, but as a tool for mentoring and empowerment. We believe that women rightfully taking their place in business would be the successful underpinning of the Caribbean economies. Women like the one you've seen here today, women in small and large enterprise will indeed help transform our communities. We would like to thank all of our producers in Georgetown, Guyana. We would like to thank the owner, managers, and staff at the Oasis Cafe in Georgetown, Guyana for facilitating us. See you back here next week for another half an hour of inspiration.